Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch. Multiple projects in Fort McMurray could cause labor shortages throughout Alberta.
Over the next 2 to 3 years, you'll see Fort McMurray explode.
Your morning commute will soon be a lot less stressful with the city's road construction winding down.
There's a lot of infrastructure work that had to get done, but now we're at the end of it.
The Heartland Transmission Project puts the local Sherwood Park School in jeopardy of closing its doors.
It's been a long battle, and we did not get the result that we wanted.
NAIT NewsWatch starts right now.
Good evening. A new study shows that the number of people working full-time in Canada dropped last month, but the number of jobs in Alberta increased and is expected to continue over the next decade.
With a boom starting in the province's oil and gas industry, some say too many jobs are being created. Our Celeste Jewell joins us live from our news center with more on that story.
Fort McMurray has been booming since the mid-90s, but with many projects on the go and on the way, some suggest that the Alberta labor force won't be able to keep up with the workload.
Wayne Peterson has been a crane operator for 20 years and has heard a lot about the new projects being started in Fort McMurray.
Everybody's waiting for these new projects to start. When these projects come online, you'll see everybody moving around, shifting jobs back and forth, but everybody will be, coming back to Fort McMurray. I mean, they're not going to be leaving the province type thing.
Fort McMurray currently has more than 60 projects on the book, which could put pressure on our economy. With more projects than Alberta can handle, the cost of materials and development is driven up. One of the biggest concerns, however, is on the front of foreign workers. The need for labor could be filled with more temporary foreign workers, which could affect everyone.
To increase temporary foreign workers has the effect of driving down wages, lowering working conditions, lowering the pay and benefits those workers get, and it's kind of supporting or tilting the balance in favor of Canada's most lucrative industry, which is the energy industry.
The expected labor shortage brings hope to some. With local projects being overturned so quickly, it can be hard to hold on to a position.
People are talking like it's going to be the next boom is upon us, especially at a union hall. They were talking that there's going to be a lot of work coming up in Fort McMurray next summer. Kind of hoping, because I want to make a lot of money.
The stability of the oil sands brings comfort to Wayne, knowing that individuals in our province won't be short of work.
The world is oil hungry right now, and it's not going to slow down unless we have a world recession. I mean, we're holding our own right now, so that it's ongoing and steady, and the world is, like I say, so oil hungry that it's just going to get busier and busier as time goes on.
The Alberta Federation of Labour suggests that in order to keep the labour force and the economy stable, the oil sands should only have between 5 and 10 projects going on at once, as opposed to the 60 currently.
Celeste, are there any positives of the expected boom in Fort McMurray?
Well, Alberta's going to see a bit of a gold rush effect. With so many people coming into the province, that means more people are going to be using hotels and restaurants, and that's going to bring a lot of profit into Alberta.
So where exactly are these extra workers going to come from?
Well, originally they were coming from the East Coast, but with a new project going on there, Alberta's expected to lose close to 1,000 workers, which means a lot of our new labor force is going to be coming from the United States.
Thanks, Celeste. That's Celeste Jewell reporting live from our news center tonight.
This is NAIT NewsWatch.
Earlier this week, the Alberta Utilities Commission approved a 65-kilometer above-ground power line that will run near Sherwood Park.
The Heartland Transmission Project, a 500-kilovolt double-circuit power line, has many Sherwood Park residents concerned. Colchester School, just off the Anthony Henday near Sherwood Park, will be within 200 meters of the power line, and parents worry the electric and magnetic field could pose health risks to their children. Colchester has argued its case with the AUC to bury the line, but the project is still scheduled to go ahead.
You'll find as many reports indicating that there's health risks as there are not saying there are no health risks. So when it comes to our children, we're not ready to take that risk.
98% of parents from Colchester School said if the power line did go overhead, they would take their children out of the school, which is putting the future of Colchester at risk.
At this point, for Colchester School and for Elk Island Public Schools, we need to look at the future and what we need to do, because if it's going to go above ground and that's not going to be stopped, we have to be ready to move our family somewhere else.
2 routes were proposed for the power line, one going west around the city and one going east, but the shorter east route near Sherwood Park was chosen.
So why is it critical? Show Albertans the evidence in an open, independent way.
The imposition of this line on people in the northeast part of the city and in the Sherwood Park area, I think that those public concerns were largely ignored today, and I think a lot of people are going to be very angry.
Energy Minister Ted Morin has said the west line will be looked at again, but there are no plans to bury it.
The AUC did not recommend burying in the public interest. There was no reference to government doing that. There's no precedent for government doing that, and it's not my intention to recommend that to Cabinet.
Parents and staff at Colchester will be holding a meeting on November 14th to decide their next plan of action.
The City of Edmonton is proud to announce that 3 major developments have now officially been completed. After great weather, a diligent workforce, and patience from Edmonton motorists, the city is wrapping up its busiest construction season. Projects such as Whitemud Drive and 23rd Ave and Gateway Boulevard interchange are major projects that have been completed.
The last 3 years we've been gradually increasing the amount of work we've been doing in the city. There's a lot of infrastructure work that had to be done, but now we're at the end of it.
Scona Road is set to be completely open and free of construction in mid-November.
Now that construction plans have been established, Edmonton Transportation is making major improvements for snow removal. New this year are 20 new plow trucks that have been added. Although Edmonton is equipped appropriately for a city our size, trucks and plows aren't the only improvements needed. Greater efforts will be taken to inform neighborhoods about parking bans so the plows can do a better job with snow removal.
We've got a lot better communication tools this year. I think that's where we really lacked last year, was we weren't prepared for the amount of communication that was required to keep citizens well informed.
To learn when city parking bans affect your area, visit edmonton.ca/winterroads or the City of Edmonton's Facebook and Twitter page.
November has been proclaimed Family Violence Awareness Month, and the city is taking action. Mayor Stephen Mandel announced the city will be bringing awareness to family violence through local businesses. The collaboration with these businesses will give people a safe place to come forward about the abuse in their family. Carolyn Gord believes this idea is long overdue.
A number of businesses, Edmonton businesses, that have signed up to really be on the cutting edge of prevention of family violence.
To learn which businesses are taking part in the initiative, visit edmontonfamilyviolence.ca.
Edmonton Police Services Curb the Danger is celebrating their 5th anniversary and the growing success of the program. Curb the Danger is a program that allows drivers to call 911 if they suspect an impaired driver. Since the program has started, they've received over 44,000 calls reporting a possible impaired driver, and 4,200 impaired drivers have been taken off the road. Curb the Danger is helping create safer roads in Edmonton, but impaired driving is still an issue.
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 impaired charges in the course of a year. That's probably just touching it's the tip of the iceberg. How many are not being apprehended?
For more information about the program, visit edmontonpolice.ca/curbthedanger.
Earlier this week, Mayor Stephen Mandel declared November as Diabetes Awareness Month in hopes to put a bigger spotlight on the disease. Pat McCormack, a volunteer and the chair of the board for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, is living with type 1 diabetes and is hoping the announcement will bring research one step closer to finding a cure.
Need to bring across the board. And with that awareness is what we hope to do is get research dollars to find a cure.
Recent studies estimated that 217,000 Albertans were diagnosed with diabetes last year, and that number is expected to increase to over 360,000 in the year 2020. However, the mayor, McCormack, and local elementary students that attended the event are hopeful that a cure is very near in the future.
The Children's Ability Fund was able to give back to injured soldiers this past week with a big donation.
We're pleased to provide funding to the Personnel Support Program Edmonton for the purchase of over $10,000 worth of sledges and sticks.
Jim Banks, chairman for the board for the Children's Ability Fund, presented 15 new ice hockey sledges and sticks to benefit injured soldiers of the Canadian Forces Base in Edmonton. After the ceremony, members of both organizations took to the ice to try out the new equipment.
A lot of sports that, us we used to play, we can't really play, like football and stuff like that, or rugby, so, we got to play it a different way, and, playing hockey on a sledge is one of those different ways, and it's great.
Brock lost his left leg and injured his right leg when he stepped on an improvised explosive device near Kandahar while he was serving in 2010. If you'd like to donate to the Canadian Forces and Family Support Service, visit soldieron.ca. Coming up after the break, students make a splash here at NAIT.
Students from all over Alberta came to NAIT to race cardboard boats.
We're hoping to place, pretty much. Hoping to win, yeah.
We get tips on how to spend more wisely during the holiday season.
You need to always be pretty conscious of how much you're spending and how that's going to affect all the needs that you have in your life.
Coming up in the End Zone Challenge, I'll be thrusting myself into the sport of fencing.
Edmonton High School students prove that a lot can be done with very little supplies.
Students are showing their talents in the Skills Canada National Competition. NAIT hosted a cardboard boat race and students were only allowed to use tape and their clever designs. The event is for students to use their education in a hands-on and entertaining way.
We just sort of threw it together and hoped that our structure kind of used our buoyancy knowledge from physics to help us with this one.
Emmy Lizard won the competition.
Katrina Taylor joins us now with weather. How does it look outside, Katrina?
Well, we saw our first below zero temperatures this week, but we'll be rebounding a little bit this weekend with some warmer air. And if we don't get any snow by Wednesday, we'll break a new record, so let's check out the boards. In Calgary, we have a high of +2 and a low of -9. Sunny day, they have some snow on the ground now, but will stay sunny tomorrow. In Jasper, we have a high of -2 and a low of -13. A little colder over there, but still a sunny day. In Fort McMurray, we have a high of +1 and a low of -8. They will see some snow this weekend, and tomorrow will be a mix of sun and cloud. Here in Edmonton, we have a high of +3 and a low of -7. We'll be in that warmer kind of air pocket right now, and it'll be sunny tomorrow. We're at about the average temperatures for this year, and the record high was 17 in 1923 and a low of -31 in 1919.
Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
So we're at about average temperatures this time of year. Pretty normal, not too many surprises yet.
Thanks, Katrina. That's Katrina Taylor with the weather. Now that Halloween is over and the Christmas shopping season is starting, money can be a worry for students.
Budgeting and saving your money is important to learn about. Katrina Taylor tells us more.
Halloween is over and the season of Christmas shopping and spending our hard-earned cash is here. For Tyler Crawford, working full-time over the summer, then coming to school in the fall means having to be smarter with his money.
It is harder, I guess, because you are not having that extra couple grand every couple weeks to come in, right? So you really do have to budget yourself, and if you're not prepped for that, you can really have a bad time. And
Colton Yamagishi advises students to be more aware of what they're spending this time of year.
I think during like Halloween and Christmas time, it's especially important for students to, take a good list of all the things that they need to purchase and make sure that they have enough income coming in to cover it.
Doing your Christmas shopping in the summer is what Tyler did to make his school semester easier to get through.
I knew that I was going to be in school, so I thought I'd kind of prep myself better that way, get my Christmas shopping done earlier. So
Colton's top 3 tips for students to save money are eat at home and not take out, make a budget for yourself, and try your best to stay out of debt.
Because if you don't budget for it, then it's going to come up and it's going to put you in the red. So
being a student and managing your money is hard enough without it being the Christmas season and you having to worry about buying presents for all your family and friends. It's important to set a budget for yourself and also set a limit for how much money you can spend. Katrina Taylor, NAIT NewsWatch.
Brent McPhee joins us now for sports. So I heard it was a really busy week here.
Yeah, and I heard it was very busy for the soccer teams here at NAIT.
Absolutely. We've got Ooks soccer, high school football, the Eskimos, and more coming up in sports, which starts right now. Sunday was an exciting day for NAIT soccer, as both the men and women put their undefeated records on the line and played for gold in the ACAC Championships. NAIT hosted the men's tournament, so let's go to the highlights. The gold medal final was an all-Edmonton affair between the Ooks and Grant MacEwan Griffins. Misha Baines hit the far corner from a set piece midway through the first half, giving MacEwan the all-important first goal. NAIT had much of the ball the rest of the half, but were unable to solve keeper Adam Kerr, and MacEwan took a 1-0 lead into the break. After sustained pressure early in the second half, NAIT broke through in the 63rd minute with Kyle Sabin's long-distance effort, and the game was knotted at 1. NAIT continued to press, but the Griffins keeper had all the answers, and the game headed to extra time. In the 102nd minute, Kyle Sabin took a strike which was mishandled by the keeper, and NAIT wouldn't look back after that. They would score again late, and the celebration was on for the Ooks' third championship in the last 7 years. With almost all the players expected to return next season, it's a run of success that has head coach Jeff Paulus excited for the future.
I told these guys that they have a chance to start something very special here at NAIT, and we got the job done year 1, so we'll see how we do at Nationals.
Not to be outdone, NAIT's women capped off their perfect season with a 1-0 gold medal final win over Mount Royal in Calgary. NAIT's men and women will now represent Alberta in the CCAA Championships from November 9th to 12th in Quebec City. High school football playoffs continued this week, and the undefeated Harry Ainley Titans spent their time preparing for a city championship three-peat and a rematch of last year's final against the Jasper Place Rebels. Players may have been tempted to look past this game towards some unfinished business in the provincial championships, as the Titans were also last year's provincial runner-up, but head coach Danny Boyley insisted that would not be the case.
That's what's really special about this group. They're not too high and they're not too low. They're pretty even keel, and so they've done a great job in focusing on whoever their opponent is.
And his players have bought into that message.
Always looking at the first game ahead and never past that, so not that big of a concern right this moment.
The Titans went on to defeat the Rebels 34-14 and are off to the provincial championships once again. The Eskimos have a wealth of young talent on the roster this year, including 2011 first-round draft pick Nate Kuhorn. Kuhorn was the University of Calgary's leading receiver last year, with 28 catches for 416 yards, and was a Canada West All-Star for the third straight season. So far this year, Kuhorn has recorded 2 catches for 29 yards in 9 games, but he remains upbeat about his first CFL season.
I'm behind some great receivers, and yeah, I know I have a lot to learn, so yeah, I'm just learning as much as I can from them, and they're great players, and I know my chance will come, so I'm just going to keep working hard and doing what I can do.
Kuhorn will have his next chance to see game action with the Eskimos in the West Division playoffs. It must be from watching one too many swashbucklers, but I've always wanted to try my hand at fencing. In this week's End Zone Challenge, I get my chance. Raynol Fu has been fencing for 3 years.
Juju Luan, the head coach here, is my mom's friend, so obviously she would want to get fencing to be a popular sport. She asked me to try fencing.
And he offered to show me the finer points of the sport at the Edmonton Fencing Club. Once I was fully clothed and armed, we began. After showing me several ways to ward off an attack, we started to fence. Foil is the most common of the 3 fencing disciplines, and is guided by the rule of right-of-way. Whoever attacks first to score a point is awarded one when simultaneous contact is made. Defensive maneuvers with your blade that happen to contact your opponent don't count. The objective is to score points by targeting your adversary in the scoring area, which is the front and back of the torso, and not including the arms. Only a thrusting blow counts. You can't score points by slashing your opponent. I quickly learned the importance of good footwork, as you must maintain an L-shaped stance with your feet at all times, even while you move forward or backward. Raynol easily defended himself from my attacks, despite my best efforts. When he chose to attack me, I was virtually defenseless, and he basically scored points at will. Had we been keeping score, it would have been ugly. And I am definitely not ready to cross swords with a pirate, or anyone else for that matter, anytime soon. And that's this week's End Zone Challenge. And thanks to the Edmonton Fencing Club for a fun afternoon, although I felt a bit like a pincushion afterwards.
Yeah, it really looks like you took a beating there.
Thanks, Brent.
Coming up after the break,
Elise and I help out with the food bank with their donations.
Edmontonians are always so generous to us, and we're so thankful for the support that we get.
Coming up at entertainment, I spend the day with the most creative people in town. Right, Brad and Janet?
Actually, my name is Jose.
Devin. Brad and Janet say stick around.
NAIT NewsWatch, Edmonton's #1 student newscast.
Hunger is affecting many in our community, and the Edmonton Food Bank makes it their mission to lend a helping hand.
Danica and I helped sort out food donation and got to see just how much the food bank contributes to the community. The Edmonton Food Bank is celebrating their 30th year of service. They serve 15,000 individuals a month through their hamper program, and 300,000 meals are served every month. Danica and I helped sort out non-perishable food items, and with the Christmas season fast approaching, the food bank is happy to receive any kind of help.
We have a lot of different fundraisers and food raisers going on throughout the community, about 400 between now and Christmas Day. And so we're very busy here, but Edmontonians are always so generous to us, and we're so thankful for the support that we get. We're going to try to raise about...
To donate non-perishable food items to the food bank or to get involved, visit edmontonfoodbank.com. You know, Danica, I think our entertainment reporter Mike is a little off on what season it is.
Yeah, it's not even Remembrance Day yet, and Mike's already reviewing Christmas movies. All that and more coming up in entertainment.
A cult classic made its way to Edmonton this week, and it's no longer on the silver screen, it's on the stage. Taken to the stage officially last Thursday, the Rocky Horror Show, a play based off the famous cult classic Rocky Horror Picture Show, has come to the Citadel, and the cast say it's not to be missed.
It's unlike any other theater experience I've had because the audience is part of the show. The amount that the audience participates in also creates a different atmosphere on the stage itself.
Complete with great music and over-the-top costumes, it's more than just a fun night out, it's a message.
It's about liberation, I think. I think it's about letting your inhibitions just fly away and just being who you really are.
The Rocky Horror Show only runs until November 20th, so don't wait too long to get your tickets. The Edmonton fashion scene strut their stuff for a good cause this past week. Edmonton's classiest and most artistic people crowded into Lexus Edmonton this past Wednesday as fashionistas took to the catwalk to raise money for a good cause. My Philosophy, a Canadian-owned fashion company, sponsored the event, providing articles of clothes that you could name after yourself and an exclusive look at its 2012 spring and winter lineup. Joe Fur, the designer for the clothing company, says putting on a fashion show like this is no easy task.
It's actually coming off of shows that because I participate in Toronto Fashion Week, so we basically have to just take that collection and ship it over to here. So, but to prepare for a collection, it's quite a long time. It takes like maybe 3 months.
With all proceeds going to the Stollery Children's Hospital, it was an easy choice for attendees to part with significant amounts of money for door prizes and other cool gifts. Inspired, connected, and educate. That's exactly what the ICE conference did this past weekend. The ICE conference filled the Shaw Conference Center this past Tuesday and Wednesday, celebrating its 29th anniversary. Although the technology and information has adapted over the years, the conference still stays just as important.
Any questions from anyone? I think this conference is important because it is sort of the exemplary IT conference that brings together IT practitioners and professionals.
The two-day IT conference was helpful to IT workers, but was not exclusive to them.
It's a very inclusive and diverse conference, so anyone who has an interest in IT can come.
Along with its 29th anniversary, the conference also celebrated its first double city anniversary, moving to Calgary for a few days after Edmonton. With Remembrance Day just around the corner, the Cosmopolitan Music Society is remembering through music. Lest we forget, a musical tribute is a celebration of Canada's armed forces and honors the soldiers who gave their lives and are continuing to give their lives for the freedom of our country. Gary Silverman, the music director for the Cosmopolitan Music Society, says not only is it just music, but a moment of remembrance as well.
We get a lot of veterans. We actually honor our veterans during the concert. There's a portion of the concert where we play the three forces marches for the Navy, the Army, and the Air Force. And during that portion of the concert, we have the veterans stand and be recognized by the audience.
The concert, now on its 22nd year, can be caught tomorrow night, 7:30 at the Winspear Centre. Tickets are $20 at the door. Now everyone's favorite comedy duo returns to the big screen, and this time they're bringing a little Christmas cheer. Check it out. Taking place 6 years after their escape from Guantanamo Bay, the now distant Harold and Kumar must reconvene and go on yet another epic journey after burning down Harold's father-in-law's prized Christmas tree. Poking fun at being the first Christmas film released this year, the movie also jokes on its 3D aspect.
It's gonna be amazing!
Who are you looking at?
Along with run-ins with Santa and Jesus, Harold and Kumar are also once again paired with Neil Patrick Harris.
How are you still alive?
What are you talking about?
We saw you get shot.
You have to be more specific.
Although it's early, it's sure to bring as much laughs as holiday cheers. Catch a very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas in theaters today. Those movies get more and more ridiculous with every sequel. If you can't beat them, join them. And that's the theme of this week's viral video. This week's viral video shows a puppy being traumatized by internet wolves, and after much debate, he decides if you can't beat him, join him. Okay, that's way too cute. Now, if you have a viral video you think should be featured on our show, drop us a link on our Facebook page at facebook.com/NAIT And that's it for entertainment. Have a great weekend.
That's all for NAIT News Watch. Don't forget to set your clock back an hour before you go to bed tonight.
And if you want to check us out online, visit naitnewswatch.ca. Good night.
Have a great weekend.